market share is a topic which keeps coming up time and again, and I think you already answered that on why it's not just important to look at market share in a blue ocean strategy setup, but equally important in a red ocean strategy setup. And you've also answered the one common question of, I already have multiple sources of market share intelligence. Why do I need one more? I think the reality is they don't have an execution engine against the market share data.
I think so. That's a great point, Vinod. And when we started working with one of our clients, the statement was, I know that my market share is reducing and my competitor is gaining ground, and I'm getting that from on the field. But what I'm not getting is, why is that happening? I don't know that conclusively, right? What specifically are they doing on the ground which is helping them gain share and hammer my products, right? So that was, and there is a difference between getting anecdotal information from reps on the ground versus actually conducting a comprehensive, objective, reliable study. And I think objectivity and transparency is again a very important virtue when you're doing a competitive study, right? Because people need to believe in it for them to take action. And a lot of anecdotal information that just keeps trickling in from reps on the ground sometimes is not too believable. So that's another value, I would say, yeah.
Yeah, I think we've now gone all the way from macroeconomic reality to the field.
I know.
Or maybe I can put it, we've gone from Game of Thrones to Alice in Wonderland. I think the next logical thing that comes in, and Krishnan, going back to your threads of execution, right? The next thing is the field. You got your sales teams and marketing teams. Obviously, some of our customers are more marketing-driven organizations. Some are more sales-driven organizations. What can we do there? And again, this is typically where they say people are dropping the ball. Even if they go to the big consulting firms, they get guidance at a certain level, but what they're lacking is the execution guidance. And I know Markets and Markets has this ability to drive revenue realization as well. It's not just strategy. So would love to hear your thoughts. Maybe you can talk about the marketing angle first or the sales angle.
So let me pull out a bit, talk about the whole front office, Vinod. So let's understand the challenge of the front office. We've been running the CRO talks, and we have been talking to almost every CRO worth their salt in the world. And some very interesting insights are coming across the front office. See, the traditional numbers aren't going to change. So traditionally in B2B, we are all used to a situation where 15% of your revenue will come from net new, and at least 80, 85, sometimes 90% will come from existing customers. That may not change, but the quantum of that revenue is questionable right now, right? Growth. So the conversation now is moving from efficiency to effectiveness. And to explain that better, in the front office, I would say the last decade was a conversation around technology. So CRM, MarTech, we've all heard these terms. And these have enabled fantastic amounts of efficiency in the front office. Today, if a salesperson makes a call, it is documented on a CRM, it is assisted by a MarTech product. There is possibly geo-positioning data which is being used to triangulate the physical location, the travel expense may be correlated to, I'm belaboring the point. But the thing is, you can measure and track the efficiency of the sales call, no doubt. Now here's the challenge. What the seller does in that call is what will give you effectiveness. Is that sales call converting to pipeline and revenue comes because of what you do in the call, which no technology can help. And that is the discussion on effectiveness. And what we are observing is, what do you need to become effective in that scenario? You need content, you need intelligence. You're meeting a client, you need to understand the client's business and what is making the client do things. And you need to be able to give that client content which is genuinely enriching and value added, so that that client forms an engagement, a relationship that ultimately translates to business. So this is where, if you see the way we are working with clients, right, we are doing two things, covering both sides of the revenue pie. What is effectiveness in that account, right? That 80-85%. Let's start there. That's the most important. If you're running a B2B enterprise, your biggest next year revenue source is going to be your existing accounts. Now the question is, we just talked everything about disruption, change, trajectory. Ashish gave us several examples of entire business models transforming. Typically, when you look at a sales structure, servicing an account, and even a huge account, maybe an account which gives you $1 billion, you have fantastic channels set up with existing buying centers, existing propositions, you know everything. But if that account of yours is transforming into new businesses, has charted a new course, how well, and let me ask 3 questions of anybody who is now just thinking, put this problem in your head, you're the CRO, the CEO. Do your teams understand the new buying centers which are taking birth as a consequence of sustainability, electrification, digital health, connectivity, blah, 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 everything that you've heard? And let me assure you, massive new buying centers are being set up. Second question, does your team understand where the revenues of that account are coming from? Where are they investing? Because in their investment lies your wallet share gain. And if you don't understand the new areas of investment and you are vested in the current spend areas, somebody else will step in and take that and dominate your relationship. In IT services, we have seen this displacement happen very, very often. And many large companies have been impacted by it. In fact, the Indian IT sector is a consequence of this phenomenon, where they have managed to create relevance and have ousted the others. And the third thing is, today, top to top connect is a very important part of doing business. Are you able to formulate the executive narrative with which your team can walk into the boardroom of the client organization and create massive impact? Just think of these 3 questions. And if the answers to at least 2 of them are no, you have to start getting worried about that 80% of your revenue. Similarly, now let's look at the balance 15-20%. Where is it coming from? How you generate demand? Net new business. Now today, because of the discontinuity that the world is seeing, nobody is interested in BAU. So nobody is interested in a company coming and saying that, look, here's my product. In fact, let me take a very, I found a wonderful example of a technology company who sells, plant automation software. Now, let me correlate 3 mega trends: sustainability, Industry 4.0, IoT. The Venn diagram intersection of the 3 is, interestingly, the digital twin. So the number 1 sustainability initiative today in process industries, you see any oil and gas company, their biggest investment is in digital twin. This company I'm referring to, in their marketing material, the digital twin, they are fantastic. They are possibly the number 1 best positioned software to be the digital twin provider into process industries. Their commentary, their videos, their material is them explaining how their software makes the digital twin possible. But the power of the digital twin to transform an oil and gas company's business doesn't come out anywhere. So I think it's interesting that if you switch outside in and you build the right content and intelligence, you can look at 100% of your revenue line, the 85% on accounts, you grow wallet share dramatically, the 15% on net new, you improve the power of your lead generation and, more importantly, qualification. Many B2B companies, you'll hear the marketing team say, we bring these MQLs, marketing qualified leads. But sales says these are not qualified leads. The minute you hear that, your ears should shoot up, because then the content is creating the problem. So these are two areas that we are seeing great success working with clients in.